All right, let's get to this pile of festering pus swarm. Not the man, the opinion is what I was saying. It's the opinion that's a festering pile of dog shit. I'm intrigued as to I'm intrigued as to why this opinion comes out. Like, what is it? And so much of this is bullshit. We'll probably pause a couple of times on the way through. Let's have a listen to, and like we will say it here. I don't know why they don't. This is only on Stuff, the fucking news. The fucking ridiculous news is tonight's opinion piece. Let's have a listen.
How good are billionaires? So
okay, we can stop there. Actually, first sentence. Should we just stop?
Right,
there?
Shut it down.
I'll keep
how
in my
how
opinion,
good
New Zealand
are
just
billionaires
needs
as
more
fuel?
of them. Hear me out here. I want more mega rich Kiwis. I know that will infuriate a lot of people, but honestly, we need them. I reckon we have a problem with the wealthy, something called the Great Kiwi Knocking Machine. We like to knock things. There is this.
So what he's saying is we're just all a bit jealous. Not the example we just gave of the story before about those companies that make people mega wealthy and then they don't pay their fair share in tax. That's why I'm knocking them. Not because, you've got a BMW and a flash house. I don't. That's not fair. What's not fair is how much tax you pay proportionally to the rest of the country and perhaps the rest of the world. That's what's not fair.
This tendency that we have to knock people down, particularly wealthy people. Our mindset is to think of billionaires as rich rather than...
This is interesting, because we've spoken to several very wealthy people on this show who are a part of the Sharing Wealth group. Do you feel like they're the kind of wealthy people that people are going to knock down? We tend to knock them down, Chewie? No. I don't feel like it is. So therefore, there's something different about those people than the people we're talking about here. There might be a reason that some wealthy people get knocked down. Maybe it's not the money side of things. Maybe it's some other thing. It's just a few thoughts there, though, Chewie.
Down particularly wealthy people. Our mindset is to think of billionaires as rich rather than as wealth creators. I was just reading the annual NBR Rich List. And it was...
wealth creators for themselves. He left out the for
Fucking
themselves. Wealth creators for themselves. He's literally talking about trickle-down economics. He's literally trying to sell these rich people. I found this book, slid down the back of the couch. I opened it up and it had this name written in it. It was R. Muldoon. I don't know who that was, but I read everything in it and it's fantastic. And then there was another book and it had his name, R. Richardson. And I was like, I don't know where these books have come from, but these people speak a lot of truth. This trickle-down economics, these people with all the money, they just make more money for themselves. And not other people necessarily.
It was page after page of Amazing New Zealander, actually. Personally, I had never heard of many of them. And it led me to this question. Why aren't our top 10 billionaires as well known as something like our top 10 All Blacks? For some reason, we don't put wealth creators on the same pedestal as athletes.
Yeah.
Now, I think the word billionaire is part of the problem. We attach the word billionaire to a Kiwi, and suddenly they are in the same class as those billionaires Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep.
Because they have billions of dollars.
They have billions of dollars.
The
Mowbrays
are
worth
in the name, Patrick.
Mowbrays are worth
It's in
20
the
billion.
name.
We think about billionaires like Mark Cuban. Mowbrays are worth more than Mark Cuban. So that's why we associate them. We associate them because they're billionaires, as are the other ones.
But the reality is that our Kiwi billionaires are nowhere near as wealthy as these tech bros, and
as some, nowhere near as wealthy as some. And exponentially wealthier than 99.99% of the world.
Another truth bomb is that our billionaires...
No. Truth bum. You actually finally hit something proper. You are about to spit a truth bum, not a truth bomb. So well done on being honest.
They're as wealthy as these tech bros. And another truth bomb is that our billionaires do not try and meddle with our society like Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg.
Okay. There's the first time for food. Yeah,
really?
Yes.
What?
So what do you think a political donation is for? And who do you think gives them, Paddy? Why do you think ACT and National have a war chest exponentially larger than those ones on the left that want to do things to regulate and tax billionaires? You're honestly saying that these billionaires don't do anything to meddle? What the fuck do you think a donation is to a political party to help them put out their messaging. I mean, honestly, are you that
Who's
stupid?
great?
Are you that stupid?
Who is Graham Hart donating to?
Yeah.
Just out of the goodness of his pure lily white soul, he's shoveling over hundreds of millions of dollars into political donations over the years. Who are the Mowbrays donating to? Who's the Business Roundtable membership donating to?
The Right Family Foundation.
How much damage has someone like the Right Family Foundation, or who are those cretinous fucks in the New Zealand initiative, the people that New Zealand's own pillar of Atlas?
Yeah.
How much damage have they done to our democracy over the decades? Our billionaires are just salt of the earth, artisanal, wealthy people that just want to... They're good old Kiwi battlers, are they, Paddy? This is the opinion piece version of an over-enthusiastic hand job. He is giving these people a tongue bath from toe to ear tip.
Oh, gosh.
And it's just nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Why don't we value these people like we do the All Blacks? I don't know. Maybe because All Blacks are team players. Maybe they're on an even playing field. Maybe because they're not bribing the judges. Like, this is just a piece of idiot foolishness.
Yeah.
This guy couldn't be more of a fucking sycophant if he tried. This is gold medal shit.
But listen, that's why I'd like to on a professional level, I'd like to understand where this come from, because it makes no logical. I mean, that's one of the stupidest things any human being has ever said about billionaires in politics, that they don't meddle in politics. Like, honestly, it borders on the euthanized, that opinion. It's just that bad. So why? Because I don't believe he's dumb. So why is he choosing this opinion? Is he really just missed the mark that much, or is someone angling for a little something from some people? You know,
we can't see what's underneath the shot here. So I don't know if someone's got their fucking arm right up his ass and they're just working him like a muppet.
Like that, yeah.
But to just refer to billionaires as wealthy, that in itself is just fundamentally wrong. A millionaire is wealthy.
See, gaslighting, 100%.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Well, this whole thing of like the New Zealand tall poppy syndrome, like, we value fairness. We always have. We love an underdog story. We love someone triumphing over adversity. But there's a point where you're not triumphing over adversity. You've kicked adversity's ass years ago, and you're still stacking triumph. It's not as good of a story anymore. But billionaires shouldn't exist. They should not exist. This is something that is being said overseas. It is something that should 100% true. I tell you what, when we don't have hungry kids, when we don't have any kids that are missing out on schools or are getting commonly, like, easily fixable respiratory illnesses because their housing is shit, or they're sleeping in their fucking cars, or they're going to school hungry, I tell you what, that's when you can start stacking up excess profits. But if you're a billionaire, there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. You are just stealing. You are extracting excess value from your workers, from the government, from your consumers, and you're just not stopping. How much is too much? How much can you exist in society and look around and go, yep, all of this is good. There's nothing I can do to make this better. Show me my bank account, please. Paddy, that was an excellent hand job. And I commend you. Ruffle his hair.
We've said this before, and I'll say it again. The Mowbray's wealth 20 bill. That means the Mowbrays could not earn another cent, right? Like, so there was no more money coming in. They could spend $1 million a day, $1 million a day, every day for the next 54 years, and they would still have money left over. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
An inconceivably obscene amount of money.
So the Mowbrays right now could give to charity, give to schools, give to hospitals $100,000 a day, and it would do probably at the end of the year they would have the same, if not more, money just from interest on it and interest on their investments. Now, there are people in the world like that. You know, the Warren Buffetts of the world, and I guess the Microsoft man. What's his name? Bill. I keep wanting to say Bill Gates. Bill Gates. Who get the but they get to the end and they start flicking it backwards. But you know,
I'm going to put Bezos's ex in there.
Yeah,
took him
she's
for half of everything.
She's trying to get rid of all his money.
Broke world records to rid herself of that money.
Right.
Meanwhile, he's gone on and married another mannequin. It spent $47 million on his wedding.
Mm. Yeah. Hey, look,
how many hospitals can you build for that?
Well, yeah, good question. Let's keep going.
Another truth bomb is that our billionaires do not try and meddle with our society like Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg.
Bullshit.
For the record, I've got no problem with Jeff Bezos' wedding. It is easy to criticise something so over the top, but honestly, I don't care about how he spends his money. It makes no difference to me. Apparently, he ended it with a pajama party. I just wish I had enough money for a pajama party. It sounds like fun.
So it's funny because what's happening is this is projection, because he's saying the tall poppy syndrome, everyone's so jealous of their money. But what he literally just said there is, I'm jealous of his money. I wish I had that kind of money to have a party like that. None of us are saying that. So who's the one that's actually got the green-eyed monster here? Who's the envious one? It's not the people that you're all saying are the envious ones, Paddy. It's projection. You're the one that's saying you want that, not us.
Now, my point here is I don't care how people spend their money as long as it's not hurting society.
Well,
and explode.
Well, I don't know what to say, Patrick. Society is worse. And it is worse for these guys stacking the deck in their favour endlessly to avoid making society better. These guys will spend an epic amount of money to make sure that they don't have to pay any more money that other people would benefit from.
Yep.
It's fucking weird.
Yep. And listen, we just said it. Every donation they give to a political party or a lobby group or whatever can and does often, not always because they might go to a good cause, but often they don't. They go to the other side and do make society better. Many of these very ultra uber wealthy people, they get their money and then they make society worse for it. And by make worse, I mean make better for them and their top 10% and worse for everybody else. So this is just nonsense.
There's so many dumb statements in this, right?
Yeah,
He's talking about this pajama party, and he goes, I wish I had enough money to have a pajama party. What? You don't need a lot of money to have a pajama party, Pat. You could just go and have one.
Maybe there's friends.
Just go and have one, man.
Maybe he needs to buy some friends. Maybe it's not the pajamas that he's missing, it's the friends. Maybe that's what it is.
Where the anger comes from, Pat, it's not from jealousy. It's not from the green-eyed monster. It's not from the, as he says, a phrase that's never been uttered before, the great New Zealand knocking machine. It is from a sense of just injustice. Like, I cannot fathom spending $46 million on a self-indulgent party while people in the world are hungry.
We're going to keep going because we've still got the Channel 4 thing to get through as well. So let's get to the end of this.
So while I care about what Bezos may be doing to media independence, I don't care about his pajama party. If they created the wealth, they can splash it around. Now, a good New Zealand
How
example.
do they create their wealth? They didn't do it on their own. Fonterra, we've talked about the Fonterra roads that we've paid for, the health system that we've supported, the education system that they don't. No one creates this on their own. There is no such thing as a self-made man. That is a fallacy that people who want to be selfish with their money and not share create around themselves. No one is an island unto themselves. Everyone benefits from a public system, even a terrible public system like in America. Everyone benefits from it. All we're saying is it's time for you to help pay back some of the benefits you got from the public system when you were coming up. The stuff you could write off to the IRD when you were running at losses. All of those things. Now just pay your fair share. That's it. Pay your fair share. Nothing more. That's all.
Bezos's workforce is sleeping in cars outside the distribution centre. They're pissing in bottles. They're dying in those distribution centres from tornadoes, heat stroke, poisonings, heart attacks. Like, Bezos's wealth extraction machine is one of the worst parts of the American working culture. And I love when he's tried to use the same pattern overseas in Europe and he's just got curb stomped by all the labour laws that they have there.
Of course.
You can't make it work because it's built on slavery.
Yeah.
If he could get it to be done by robots, he wouldn't have a workforce.
Well,
He'd get rid of them the next day.
But that's on the way, isn't it? The same
Yeah,
question can
absolutely.
be the same question will be said for Uber. Is that once the all the cars are automated, all those drivers are going to lose their jobs overnight. We'll keep going with Paddy here.
Example is the helipad that has been approved for Anna Mowbray and Williams. This has been one of those obsessive news stories, but honestly, who cares?
I do.
Of course, there is some valid criticism, but
How is it impacting the environment? How is it impacting the neighbours? I care. You don't care because you're not the person being impacted by it. What is it doing? What is it doing to the environment around it? How's it going to handle the birds in the area? I care. I care about that stuff.
Is going to be in a neighbourhood that most ordinary New Zealanders will never ever visit.
Ordinary.
But for some reason, we talk about the helipad more than we talk about how Anna Mowbray has created her wealth.
His
How her
neighbours
family took
hate
their
it.
toy empire to the world, or her new venture with job marketplace Zeal, or her role in bringing Auckland FC to New Zealand. Honestly, New Zealand needs our billionaires. We need the businesses and the jobs they create. We need their drive and we need their innovation. A lot of them give their money away. We need their philanthropy. More of that, please. Of course, we want them to play nice with the rest of us. And in New Zealand, the reality is they largely do. We need Peter Jackson, Rod Drury and Graham Hart. And we need more like this to come along. If that means a few more helipads, so be it.
The one in there that I will actually go fine is Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson is responsible for a filming. I know that there's not all good, but for a filming amount of money spent in this country based on filming coming here, like the income he has generated for New Zealand is beyond plastic toys out of a North Shore address in Auckland.
But billionaires don't change society, right? They don't lobby for film tax credits or anti-worker labour law changes, so he could get away with some of the stuff that he wanted to do around the films. This is the thing. I like Peter Jackson. I like his films. I think he's a crazy, wealthy nutbar that likes to spend his money on model trains and World War I aircraft, and that's fucking rad if you've made a bunch of money. Like, I'm not jealous of Peter Jackson, right? I love that he's kooky. You know, money comes out of those movies. That's fine. But he is not a good guy 100% of the time. Anti-worker law changes came out of the Lord of the Rings films.
Yep.
So you can't say, oh, you know, they're not making, society worse. It's always better. It's not. Like I said, the Mowbrays. How many New Zealand jobs have they created? Are they creating more jobs? No, because it's plastic shit out of Chinese factories.
But they're not. But according to Paddy, they're not harming society. Like all those plastic things that end up in landfills, they'll be fine. They'll break down in about 5 minutes.
Toys.
Yeah.
Like,
Look, listen, I also hear you about Peter Jackson. I'm not saying everything's perfect. He just feels a bit different. Actually having come up through that ranks. No one's perfect. I mean, I know the situation around, like I had an agent at the time some of those movies were happening, and some of my fellow actors in that agency refused to work because of the law that came in that allowed internationals to leapfrog local actors. I can't remember the exact details. So I'm with you. There's no perfect anywhere. I just feel that in the general scale of billionaires, he is. Can I just say this? He's 5%. He feels 5% different because he has brought a lot of income into the country as well.
Yep.
That's all.
And I like World War One aircraft, and he's got a whole bunch. Look, here's the thing. This is a message just for the patrons. If you could donate harder, I want to buy a property next to where the Mowbrays have their helipad. And I want to apply for retrospective resource consent for a fixed anti-aircraft gun.
Okay, let me work it out. So there's going to be
maybe I won't. Maybe I won't
20
use
million?
it. Maybe 20, I will. But
20 million be enough? 20 million? 20 million. Yeah. So that's we need about 44,444 from each patron by tonight. By end of the show.
Yeah,
we can do that.
And
easy.
Look, if I'm not selling you on it, here's the thing: it'll be funny. Like, imagine you've just built your helipad against all objections. Like, I think it's 93% of people that submitted against it were against it. Hilariously, 12 people that submitted had no strong opinions either way. They just wanted to be included. But imagine that you've just got your helipad, and then your neighbour starts erecting like a World War II flak gun for no reason.
But I can actually probably do you one better and slightly cheaper. Why don't we just get the property next door and start like a homing pigeon group? And that every time the helicopter is about to leave or arrive, we let our homing pigeons out and send them off to their places on the other side of the harbour and back again. You know, I know. Now, look, to being serious, a few birds might be harmed in the actions I'm going to take, but it might be a bit cheaper. Just saying.
Yeah, we can't harm wildlife, Pat.
Okay, I'm out.
We're woke lefty losers. What we can do,
but we can shoot down human beings in a helicopter as they fly in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just a second.
We've
finding the line.
We've started a new tech business on the island.
Okay.
Of drones, drone swarms,
pet drones.
So we get to pet drones. There we go.
Pet drones.
Cool. So
done.
We're all on board. We're pulling in the same direction.
We've come together. Ooh.
Billionaires shouldn't exist, and we'll start with them.
Chewie didn't hear that, team. Don't bring it up again.